It's pretty interesting out there when it comes to the state of our country. It ranges from being the richest, most powerful country in the world, somewhere where you're proud to live and raise your family, to America is a horrible place. We need change, and we need to remove anything that symbolizes our history of becoming a free nation. It seems like there's no middle these days. If you're looking at that, where America, terrible place, this includes knocking down statues, not just of slave owners, but of people that helped abolish slavery. And what I found interesting over the past week is seeing people calling for the destruction of Mount Rushmore. And to make matters worse, these calls were even louder on the 4th of July, when the president gave his speech about the history and freedoms of our country. And some politicians were trashing the U.S., saying how bad we need change. Even our potential vice president, Tammy Duckworth, believes that we should, quote, have a conversation about removing statues of George Washington. And to be fair, she didn't say, well, we actually need to remove these statues. She didn't actually say that, but she did not say that we shouldn't remove statues of our first president, which is better described as being a politician or bitching about everything while having zero solutions, or let me wait to see what the polls say before I express my opinion. That's how you become a good politician. Complain about everything, never solve anything, and that's how you win elections. You touch into the emotions of people. But more to the point here, to suggest that we should have a conversation about this, and for people to be talking about this on the 4th of July, our country's independence, what a bunch of spoiled, rotten assholes. Sorry to use that term. I can't think of a better one. Especially considering you would not be where you are today, none of us would be, without George Washington. Someone who spent most of his life in the military, became commander-in-chief. His biggest goal was to be part of a self-governing nation. That's what he was fighting for, unity, togetherness. We could have healthy debates among people to help achieve the best outcomes for America. That's what he fought for. A guy that lost plenty of battles, but got up and kept fighting, which is what America is all about. Never giving up, always fighting. Always going to make mistakes, always going to fall. It's keep fighting to move forward. That's the American dream. It's the reason why there's, 10 Rocky movies? It's the reason why most people are going to watch, including me, the next 20, because you see, just keep fighting. You get up. That's the American spirit. People love that. It sells in America. It's great. It's awesome. This country allows you to achieve things that you can't achieve in other countries. Look at Washington, someone who, after his victory at Yorktown, could establish monarchy, where he would become king. And it was up to him to become a king, which is normal. I mean, we're talking about 18th century kings, right? There was tons of big-name officers, big-name people that wanted him to become king. Think about that for a minute. How much power comes with being a king? I mean, like Roman Empire, I mean, you'd be the strongest individual in the world. What you just achieved, you are the king. How many people would say no to that? And Washington said, no, it's not what I want. He actually said the offer was not just inappropriate, but dishonorable, and made sure that a topic, speculation, anything, any talk of it was never to be brought up again, because that's not what he wanted. And after his second term as president, which he could do basically anything he want, probably said, I'll be president for until I die, he could have said. But he said, no, I'm stepping down. He transferred his presidency to John Adams, 1797, which was hailed as one of America's greatest democratic traditions. In fact, after refusing to be king and stepping down as president after his second term, King George III said Washington is the greatest character of this age. So think about that. Take that in. The opportunity to be king, king. Anything you want. Everybody kiss your ass for the rest of your life. You dictate everything. Would it change our entire history, freedoms, constitutions? Wouldn't even have states right now. Senators to govern, Congress, free speech. I mean, North Korea may be looking at us right now saying, wow, those guys are crazy over there. Could be totally different. A person that built the foundation of the freedoms that you live today. So the people who are in Congress right now, even hinting at the thought of washing away Washington's memory, you're a complete and utter asshole. I can't say it better than that. And you really need to brush up on your history. I'm not saying Washington did not make mistakes or have flaws, but our freedoms today exist because of him. And everybody has flaws. We all do. And Martin Luther King Jr., who outside of Washington is the only American whose birthday is a national holiday. Little fact there. He plagiarized his doctoral dissertation. Fact. He was banging dozens, if not hundreds of women while being married. In fact, he had 3 women in his room the day he died. There was a woman right outside waiting for the other women to finish to go back in. That's when he got shot. He called himself a democratic socialist. That's what Martin Luther King called himself. Kind of, not kind of. But you look at politicians, Democrats, Republicans, crucify Bernie Sanders for admitting to being the same thing, a democratic socialist. And they threw him right out of there really quick. Democrats, especially, right under the bus. Now they love him. They need his votes. They're going to be nice to him. But man, when he was running, all of them destroyed. Did you see the debates? They destroyed him. They destroyed him. But do you take away all of Martin Luther King's achievements? Do you erase his history because he wasn't perfect? Should we knock down statues of him all over the country and change the name of hundreds of streets that bear his name? Even though his efforts for racial inequality, civil rights movement changed the course of history for Black people, helped end segregation. Unbelievable achievements. When you look at Washington, there's a reason why there's no Hollywood movies made about the guy, right? Because he wasn't exciting. He believed in unity, not power, not division. You have to establish the Supreme Court, create the first U.S. Census, laid the cornerstone of the White House, helped create our national government. Made sure America stayed neutral when foreign nations went to war, which allowed us to become a powerhouse nation. And when it comes to movies, people don't want to hear about that. They want to watch movies about dictators, death, not people doing good shit. It's not exciting. That's why we all love mob movies, violent serial killer movies, Troy, Caesar, death, chaos. That's what sells. But politicians, and anyone for the matter, but especially politicians really shitting on Washington. And it's like AT&T knocking down statues and removing all the history associated with Alexander Graham Bell. I mean, are you kidding me? The reason why the company exists today, the reason why you're in contact, the reason why you have these freedoms is because of this guy, and you want to knock down his statue because you don't know your history? I know there's many out there in this podcast, a pretty big audience, millennials, Gen Xers that email me all the time, but millennials. And growing up, it's, when I listen to them talk and yell, I mean, I just feel like you're being taught to hate and focus on all the negatives. I mean, everybody has negatives. Everybody you know has negatives. But your best friends are the ones that know those negatives and don't judge you and treat you the same because they know you're a great person. And those are your best friends, not the ones that want to be with you when you're successful or things are good. No, it's the ones when you're down and the calls that you get when you're down. Those are the good friends. But the hate out there, I mean, I'm not sure how it happened and I'm not talking about the whole younger generation, but a lot of it, they talk about America as they hate it. And I'm struggling to find out why that is. And think about it. They're telling everyone they hate it on their social media accounts, which they're logging in through their $1,200 iPhone while they're drinking Starbucks coffee, hanging out. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, get out there. I travel later on in probably my late 20s and on. I travel a ton, as you guys know, for business, but really started in my late 20s, early 30s. Go to other countries. When you go to other countries, you realize how great you have it. When you're bitching about traffic, you're bitching about different things. mean, you go to China, they don't have access to clean water in some places. You have to follow the government regime. You can't speak out about anything. There's no freedom of speeches in many countries. It's not like it is here. And now you're shitting on that, and people are teaching you how bad things are? I mean, what is going on? Get out there. If I give millennials, again, getting tons of emails from you guys because I said I'm going to start a clinic right after we launch our security token, which is going to go free trading in about 6 weeks. Very excited. Going to have a big announcement for everyone. I mean, our offering was only available to accredited investors, and now it's going to be trading on an exchange, global exchange, where anyone can buy it. And after that, I'm going to start this clinic. It's going to be filled with millennials to help you guys become better investors. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. I'm going to get on you. But I just feel like it's a group or your group that people really don't care about. They're just trying to steer you into the direction they want. They want you to support their agenda when you should be free thinkers. Do your own research. I mean, it's the best advice I can give you. This is the best advice I can give you as a young investor. And this is based on the mistakes I made when I was your age. Okay? I'm not a genius or anything. I made mistakes. I'm trying to help you out because I want you to avoid the mistakes I made. And hopefully you'll be able to pass that down to the younger generation when you're my age, which is 35. Actually, I'm pushing 50, so a little bit older. Anyway. But the best advice I can give is forget about all the political bullshit. Forget about protesting, holding up signs. Forget about hating Trump or hating Biden. Stop hating the Fed. Stop hating bankers. Stop hating Wall Street, because that's for losers. That's what losers do. I'm not saying you don't have to be passionate about it. But if you want to be a winner, if you want to be successful, if you want to start building generational wealth, starting a family, making sure they're taken care of, starting early, instead of focusing on all the BS, all you need to do is ask yourself one question. How do I make money off it? No matter what the situation is, that's the question you should ask. How do you make money from the Fed spending an unlimited amount of money? How do you make money if Trump loses the election? How do you make money from interest rates being super low for a very long time? And every time you go out, every time you do travel, ask people questions. Cab drivers, how's business? They know more than anyone out there. They know how busy Vegas is at certain times and the building going on. They know everything that's happening in that town. They drive every single day. Every single day, some of them for 10, 20, 30 years. When you go to barbecues, ask your friends, your neighbors, how's business doing? How's in their industry? Educate yourself. Talk to people who have a different opinion than you, but be respectful. And hell, I don't agree with everyone I interview on this podcast, but I respect them and I respect their opinion and I'll challenge it. But I'm not calling them curse words or saying, you're crazy, you have no idea what you're talking about. Because in the end, when we look a year later, they may be right. They're going to be right all the time. But talk to everyone, because every person out there, I'm a true believer in this, is good at something. They are. Like my wife. She's the best at busting my balls. There's nobody better in the world. There's nobody better. I'm just kidding. I'm making a point here. And believe me, I bust her chops much, much more. And she's doing a great job, especially being home with the kids, which has not been easy during this whole entire time. But more to the point here, people are just good at different things that you don't cover. I mean, you guys listen to this podcast for investment advice, but I mean, a lot of this investment advice comes from so many emails, frankcurzioresearch.com, that I get from all over the world. And it's not just CEOs. It's, think about it from a millennial point of view with Facebook. I mean, Facebook bought Instagram. And you go back and watch TV and you look at every 45-year-old plus analyst on CNBC, Fox Business, wherever, Bloomberg, destroying Zuckerberg for buying that company. What was it, $2.5 billion? Doesn't have revenue. He's too young. He doesn't know anything. He should be fired. He's got to get out of that company. He can't run Facebook. What's the valuation on Instagram? I haven't checked. It's $25, $30 billion. There's some genius that, some person who follows finance all their lives could figure that out. He knew social media. He knew what people want. This is what he does, whether you like the guy or not. And it's amazing, right? This is the millennial crowd of a company. If you're looking at our biggest companies in technology, are created by millennials, and people are kind of shitting on you right now, which I think is a joke. Not giving you a chance and complaining that you guys don't work too hard. You guys have more access and are 10 times smarter than we were. We didn't have access to what you have access now to in terms of getting real-time information in a second. And when I first started this business, there was no emails or anything. You had to wait for the 10K, right? You couldn't even get on a conference call. Now anyone could go on a conference call, a quarterly conference call for these companies, and listen to just like the same time analysts are listening to. You didn't have that advantage back then. You had to get you 10K. You found information weeks, sometimes months later. There's no access. The stuff you have access to, the productivity is incredible that you guys have. But when you're out there, talk to everyone as experts on real estate, manufacturing, people who own their own businesses. See sports agents, restaurant owners, software developers. And talk to people who live in California. What's really going on there, since it's a hate Trump crowd, but if Biden gets elected and raises taxes, it's probably going to result in a lot fewer jobs in technology. And this is Biden what he said he's going to do. He wants to take more money out of corporations. And if he does that, they're not going to hire as much. Not saying that's a reason to vote for Trump or not. I'm just telling you that's what you have to look at. There might be other things that are more important to you, immigration or whatever. Whatever you want, that's your choice. That's your choice. But it's interesting to see how that's going to play out. But talk to everyone. Make it like a state of mind. Just strike conversations with everyone you meet. Because people, there's one thing that's a certainty. People love talking about themselves. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's the reason why social media exists, right? And everyone, it's, hey, look what I'm doing here. Everyone needs to post everything they're doing every second of the day. Watch me. I'm here on vacation. Look how much fun I'm having. Oh, I love my husband. I love my wife. It's all about you. People love that. Just shut up and listen. Because these people have access to stuff that you don't have access to in real time, in small businesses. When I put it all together with the network we have, this podcast, talking about well over 100,000 downloads every month, the emails that come in are incredible. The information you get before it's reported, because a lot of the stuff is lagging, like economic data. Same store sales on a company like Chipotle when Ebola kicked in. I mean, how many emails did I get where it's like 400 or 500 stores? I must have got 100 emails from people in different states saying everything's empty. They were expecting comps, same store sales to go up 30% plus. I'm like, there's no way it's going to happen. And the stock wound up crashing. Yes, it's at an all-time high now, but getting ahead of that news before a company reports, it's real-time information. So what you need to do is change your mindset. Always ask that question, how do I make money? Because it's easy to follow the crowd. It's easy to hate Trump. It's easy to hate Pelosi. That's the easy thing to do. But the rich, successful people, that's how they think. They figure out how these policies can make them money. Don't worry about the outcome. If it happens, how are you going to make money? Because at the end of the day, you're fighting for someone, political agendas, for people who don't give a shit about you. They only care about power. And to get that, they need your vote. It's the reason why no one's talking about racial inequality. It's a big thing now. It's huge because they want votes. They want power. And they're going to use whoever they can to get in there. But they don't honestly care about you. They didn't care about the subject you're talking about before this, did they? No. Has Biden talked about racial inequality? Has Trump talked about racial? No. Everybody wants to talk about it now because it's a hot topic and they need your vote. It's an election year. But be different. Don't be the same as everyone else. It's easy. It's easy to hold up a sign and yell at people and bark on social media. That's the easy thing to do. They want you to do that. You must be different. You must look at how's it going to benefit you, your family, because in the end, that's the thing that matters most. It's your family. It's your reputation. It's how your kids are going to look at you. That's what matters the most. I can tell you, most millennials, even the ones I took, they don't think that way. And I didn't think that way when I was young. So hopefully you learn from my mistakes. Hopefully you'll be able to retire in your 50s instead of your 70s. But again, look at different policies, what you need to do to create generational wealth. Low interest rates, start buying assets. Interest rates are low across the board. I'm going to go over that with my educational segment. It's crazy. But there's so many things going on right now that it is different this time. It is different. The Fed spending as much money never happened before. 10-year 0.6% never happened before. Mortgage rates record lows. Stuff going on right now where profits really don't matter. You're seeing momentum names that were expensive. Man, they were expensive months ago, have tripled. And understand the conditions that are going on and what's going to happen. Instead of looking like, oh, I hope this person loses the election. What's going to happen? What's your play if Biden wins? What's your play if Trump wins? What's your play if Goldman came out with a good report on this? If you see that the election is very close, which is a huge possibility, and extends where they're recounting votes, man, forget it. I think that's going to crush the markets. If that lasts a month or 2 months, like we saw with Gore, right? That good possibility that could happen. A lot of states are very, very close. Last election was a blowout. You don't have to worry about it. How do you make money off of that? That's how you need to look. That's how you need to think. And most important here is, man, learn your history. We're talking about a guy where all of our freedoms exist because of this person. Yes, you could pick and choose little things that are bad about anybody, anyone. But man, you got to take the whole package. And when you look at the whole package, George Washington, unselfish and what he's did for this country, and you want to destroy his monument because you don't know the history behind it, because you have the right to that freedom of speech because of him. Come on. Holy cow, man. You know how bad that is? It's terrible. It's terrible that people are being conditioned this way. Stop being conditioned. Do your own homework. Do your own research and start caring about yourself, because that's what matters most.